Money, 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 money. I'm rolling in the money, 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 money. I get that fast money in a. I get that fast money in a.
Hello and welcome to Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. I am back in the host chair in long over a month. Nick Fiorentino, Big Time Tim Sikora, Chris Sershaw. How are we all doing today, fellas?
Doing great, brother. Doing great. How you guys doing?
This draft's good, brother. We good. Let's go, boys. Come on.
Had a little bit of technical difficulties. We got a mini screwball bottle there. Had a little bit of technical difficulties during the pre-show, but I think we got it all figured out. So, again, this is Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. And, of course, you can find all of our shows on YouTube, on the TruExact radio channel. You can also find us on Twitter at SBFS Show, where we're tweeting stuff, we're talking stuff. It's a fun follow. You could check out our merchandise, like our new Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets hats, our TruExact hats. Tim's not rocking any merchandise. He's just doing shots of Fireball, and that's cool too. So
screwball, bitch. But JTS, Jets. It's our time of the season, baby. It's our time of the season.
Oh,
yes.
Preseason. It's where we do good. Then the season starts, but whatever.
So what I wanted to do was kind of talk through some prop bets, talk about who we think our teams, Eagles, 49ers, Jets. We were supposed to have Moravik on the show, big-time Giants fan. He last second bailed because of work. But we will talk about who we think the Giants are going to take, because we know that there are a bunch of Giants fans in the chat checking out the show. We appreciate all of our fans. Thanks for tuning in on a Tuesday night, hanging out with us three. So, guys, without further ado, you ready to roll? I'm not doing another shot. I'm done with
What do you mean another? Come on, you only did one in the pre-show.
Yeah, I'm going to do a shot of seltzer.
Oh, what? That's
It's a hard seltzer. I'll drink it like this.
you taking a sip of it?
Oh my god! Can we get a new host? Can we?
Tim for a second looked like he was frozen like I was.
Hey, frozen with disgust.
Let's talk about some of the biggest prop bets that we like, what we're betting for this upcoming draft, which is Thursday. So you'll be checking out this show on Wednesday. We're talking tomorrow in terms of the draft. We'll be live tweeting, any kind of reactions and everything like that. But, sir, we'll kick it to you first. You're making some prop bets on this draft, I assume. What's the first prop bet you're making on this draft, and why?
All right. So it's pretty safe to assume that all the first three picks going to be QBs, right? With the fourth pick, I think the Atlanta Falcons going to take Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida. So with that being said, I'm going to go with, because right now he's got an over-under of pick 5.5. So you're telling me I get pick 4 and 5 for the quote-unquote best player in the draft to get taken? Give me under 5.5 on that. And also the first non-quarterback taken at minus 150, give me Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida.
I agree. I mean, I think Kyle Pitts is going to be the first offensive, or really any player other than a quarterback taken off the board by the Atlanta Falcons as well. A position that, without Austin Hooper, they sort of missed last year a little bit. They're going to get that guy back. Apparently, he's been compared to Travis Kelce.
Vernon Davis. They said that he's been the best tight end in pre-draft since Vernon Davis. Way back in the day, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Old man Vern. All right.
Hey, if you little VD on him, come on, man. That's Vernon Davis.
I agree. I agree with Kyle Pitts, though. Tim, what do you have as one of your top prop bets?
So if you're betting through DraftKings, they have it very easily bracketed it off. So I just went bracket by bracket. I've got about 20 bets that I think that are, whether you do them or not, I don't know that they're gonna hit or not, but maybe there's some value in them. So, listen, I think the Niners take Mac Jones at number 3. That's my personal opinion, sir. You're not gonna like it, right? You want somebody else, but I think Mac Jones goes at number 3. right now, him to be top 3, he's minus 305. And unless you've heard something else on your Niner chat that I haven't heard, that's where I think he goes. Top 10, Devontae Smith plus 110. He's going somewhere in the top 10. That's my personal opinion. Once again, at plus 110, there's a lot of other like crazy values out there, like minus 10,000 for people, minus 550 for people. Plus 110, I could easily see him going in the top 10. There's 3 receivers. 2 of them are going in the top 10. I don't know which ones are falling to potentially the Giants or the Eagles, but I think there's 2 going in the top 10. Him at plus 110 on a couple of the mocks that we were looking at, he fits that bill. And top 32, I've got 2 people in mind. I got Jalen Mayfield, the offensive tackle for Michigan. He's plus 150. And then I think what the lock is Jamin Davis he's a linebacker out of Kentucky, minus 250. Some mock drafts have him going somewhere in the 15 to 20 range, and you're telling me I got 32 picks to get him in. That the upside there for him is just too real. Even at minus 250, I think it's worth it to risk to get the reward. I know 250 to win $100 for some people, including myself, is maybe a little too rich. Maybe I won't bet all 250. Maybe I'll put $100 on it and get $30, whatever it is, get $30 out of it. But I think those are no-brainers.
I think they're good picks. Do you have any other prop bets, or did you just run through all of them?
Oh no, I've got a ton.
Okay, good.
That is 3 of my 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I got 9 or 8 more.
Oh, perfect. So one of my first ones right off the bat, and of course my brother-in-law, a big Denver Broncos fan. I look at the Denver Broncos and think they're an elite level team if they have one position covered, and that one position being quarterback. And if I'm getting Trey Lance at plus 300, I think Trey Lance is going to be drafted by the Denver Broncos. So that would be my first prop bet. Trey Lance plus 300 going to the Denver Broncos. I think that is the smartest pick, safest pick. I think that's where he's going to go. But I would go one step further. You can get your chance, sir. I'll go one step further, and I'll say that I'll take the exact outcome of Jones, Pitts, and Chase at 3, 4, and 5 at plus 200. Which is another bet that I'm, probably going to throw in there at plus 200, like I said.
I was going to say the safest pick. I think the safest pick is that Trevor Lawrence goes to the Jaguars at number 1. That, my friends, is the safest pick. At
plus 30,000, sir's lock of the day, or at minus 30,000,
minus 10,000.
Lock of the day.
Winners.
Trey Lance or Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's go. Let's get this money. Come on.
How is that line still available? And why aren't they got to cap it at something, right? Is there a max bet on it?
Well, but you got to bet 10 G's to win $100. Come on.
Yeah, and somebody with a fucking $1 million can just be like, "Well, I'll take my chump change," because he's going there. He's not going anywhere else. I'm surprised there's even a line on it. I mean, listen, you need money to make money, right? But Jesus, that's unbelievable.
Easy money, right?
Nick, remember when I said I had 10 picks? Now I have 8 picks. So I didn't pick the same 3, 4, 5 as you. So
what's your 3, 4, 5? I'm interested.
Our 5th pick differed. I had the same 3 and 4 Jones, Pitts. I took Sewell at 5 for plus 350.
Yeah. I think, well, listen, if you're talking about in sheer terms of what they need, I mean, their offensive line is one of the worst offensive lines in football. Burrow got destroyed. So who they should
that man
is 100%.
That man. Even in the cover shoot, he had his knee all exposed and come on, fam, you got to protect that brother.
Yeah, but what I think they're going to take, wide receiver. I think they're going to take the guy from LSU. But
his old teammate,
offensive line, yeah, that would make the most sense. Yeah,
I don't know, man. You can't wreck the dude's knee and then not protect him. I think that's a bad friend. I mean, listen, either way, it's going to be an offensive piece that's going to help him, and that's what they need. But dude, as a Jets fan who knows how important the offensive line is, and the only time in the past 15 years that we were relevant was when we had a dominant offensive line. I would be hard pressed to take any other skill position that early with the glaring need than what's just sitting in your lap at 5, which in another draft could be 1, 2, or 3, maybe not 1, right? But a pick higher than what it comes out as.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do I have, Nick? Can I just rattle off some things for you?
Yeah, hit them.
I don't want to jump over the Giants and Eagles, but the next column that they had on DraftKings was teams and what they're going to draft first. So you got the Giants for wide receiver plus 150. You've got the Eagles for a wide receiver plus 150. I think they could draft back-to-back wide receivers if the draft plays out the way that it looks. Cowboys look like they're going to draft a cornerback. Mr. Surtain.
They need help stopping somebody.
Yeah, the Cowboys drafting Surtain leaves depending on if there's depends on what happens before them, right? Of course, if trades happen, but
I feel there's going to be a lot of trades in the top 10, top 12. There's going to be some trades flying.
But at that point in time, one of those two bets are going to hit. If the Eagles take a wide receiver, maybe there's not a wide receiver for the Giant or for the if the Giants take a wide receiver, maybe there's not a wide receiver for the Eagles to take. But one of them two
I would be disappointed in the Giants if they took a wide receiver. I know a lot of people are kind of I see on Twitter a lot of them are talking about it. They have a really good skill position player. Core. You know what I mean? Especially with the addition of Galladay, and they have Kyle Rudolph, at tight end as an additional. Like, they have a lot of weapons besides the guys they already have on the team. I think for me, like, I would take offensive line with my first pick because their offensive line is not great. Nate Solder is not great. And I think that if they can get, a good offensive lineman at their pick, I think that makes sense. I think trading back makes sense. But if you're a Giants fan, you're checking out the show right now, or you're watching it the next day, tweet us at SBFS Show. Tell us who you think they should take. Tell us in the comments who you think they should take. But for me, I'm going offensive line. Sir, if you're Dave Gettleman, what are you doing with that pick?
As you said, Gettleman likes his as he calls them, his big uglies, like on the line. But for some reason, I think they're going to go defense. I think they either go linebacker or D end.
No, forgive me, I forget his name. The cornerback, not Patrick Surtain, the next best cornerback. Why does Ford stick in my head?
Horn, J.C. Horn.
Horn. Yeah. I would not be surprised if they reached for him. Right, he's got a nice pedigree. He did well against all the top college guys who are going to be picked before or around him. Maybe that's where they go.
The only problem with Horn is that Horn, to me, I think is going to get taken by the Chargers. I think he's going to go to the Chargers. I think that they need to.
Chargers pick after the Chargers only pick the 13th or something.
Well, what I'm saying, I think Surtain is going to get taken by the Cowboys. Is what I'm saying, and I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but the Giants pick 11th. I believe the Chargers pick 13th, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they wrote the top 12, but I'm pretty sure the Chargers pick 13th. And
no, they do. They pick after the Giants. I'm just saying that's where I think he's going to land. I think he's going to go to the Chargers. I think, like I said, I think the Giants, I have them taking offensive line. I like the name that I wrote down was Rashawn Slater. I thought would be a good player.
He could go early. Yeah. The tackle. Yeah, I know Panay Sewell is a popular pick who actually had him thinking going I think it's over under 6.5 pick. I had him going under because I think he might either go to the Dolphins at 6 or who knows, maybe even the Chargers if they decide to protect Mr. Burrows. But I wouldn't be surprised if they went if one of those teams went Slater or there's another name I had, but I forgot. I didn't write it down. But they could go tackle him. It's possible.
Yeah, they could.
Nick, real quick, to piggyback on your Trey Lance, the next column was by a specific team. So you nailed the Trey Lance Denver plus 300. I think that's the exact place he goes, which also correlates to further along his over-under draft selection. So over 5.5 is minus 159. I don't believe he gets taken by anybody before Denver. I think that's a spot for him. Minus 159. I think that's, if you think his exact position, his exact pick is a lock, that's another bet to just piggyback on.
Yeah, I agree.
Sir, why do you keep giving? What does it mean, Bud? You think Trey Lance is going 3?
Honestly,
he's going to your boys.
Picks, or are we waiting until later on?
Not anymore, sir. We'll wait. We'll wait. Don't tip anything. You're the worst poker player of all time. If anyone wants some free money, just invite Sir to the game.
Go ahead.
Because
bring me over. Come on.
Yeah, well, bring him to a 1-2 game. I know this is sharp bets and fantasy sets, but we like playing poker too. My man has his hand is dealt. He's we know, sir.
Go ahead. Okay.
I would also take the Eagles with a wide receiver plus 150. I think the biggest reason I'd love for them to go cornerback. I don't know what cornerbacks will be available at that point that they're picking, but I just think that the Eagles, who are the worst of the 4 teams in the NFC East on paper, and although I did want to see Hurts and I wanted to see him play, and I'm happy that he's a starting quarterback, I don't think they're going to be a great team this year. I think it tells a terrible story about Howie Roseman as a GM that, you know, they took Jalen Reagor in the first round last year. They took J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in the second round of the year before, and their most glaring need is, again, wide receiver. Tells you everything that you need to know about the Philadelphia Eagles and who they're going to take. But I do think that they're going to take a wide receiver. If I had to guess, I'd say Devonta Smith. The Heisman winner, who's super talented, I think will force Howie Roseman's hand, but that's where I'm going. That's who I think they're going to take first. I think at this point, if I'm the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm building guys that I think are going to be – I'm drafting guys that I think are going to be on the team for the next 5 years. Once some of the older players go away and they could start to rebuild, if Carson Wentz, knock on wood, plays a full healthy season, they get 3 first-round picks next year. They can easily invest that up to get whoever the top quarterback is at that point. But no, I like the prospects of where the Eagles can go, but I think they're the worst team by far of the 4 teams, and I think they're going to go wide receiver.
By far?
Yeah, I don't think they're even close.
Nick, not for nothing. You guys are in a very, very good spot in the draft for where you're going to end up, right?
Yeah.
The trade down. You guys trade down?
Yeah, we traded back.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. There's 3 stud wide receivers, quote unquote, and one of those 3 are going to be there, or 2 of those 3 potentially could be there, and you're going to get one of them. So any capital that you guys gain by trading back to get a position of need, that's like you said, don't need to win now, not looking to win now. You have no idea what your quarterback is through a full 16. Yep. Makes perfect sense. At least from that perspective, your team looks like you know what you're doing, unlike another team that I could talk about later.
Hold on. You talk about receivers. Listen, drafting receivers is not an exact science. Nick, you know this. I know this. Jets, I don't know. They probably they don't know anybody, but drafting receivers is sometimes you think like somebody could have a great college career. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna draft this dude. They're gonna be amazing. And well,
you can ask the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions nailed 1 out of like 6 receivers they took in the first. They just got drafted in first-round receiver until one of them stuck.
They hit big on Calvin Johnson.
And they lost big on everyone else. If we're gonna go in that respect.
Who do you think? It's funny you mentioned about Calvin Johnson going to the Lions. There was a stat. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that it's the stat that Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, and Aaron Rodgers all went in their drafts
for the Raiders
after, the Las Vegas Raiders. So,
well, yeah, that Yeah, that's bad.
That's got to be as bad as it gets.
No, I mean, I don't know.
Hey, you're a lot of Hall of Famers, and
I don't know. You keep bringing up your. Go ahead, sir. You keep bringing up your Eagles wide receivers of who went after you took a wide receiver. That's bad, but the Raiders at skill positions, even though they might not have been looking in that direction, it just the irony of how bad it was. 3 all-time great, once-in-a-lifetime players that pick after you. Just brutal. You want me to move on to my next category, Nick? We got it right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go.
First running back off the board, Mr. Najee Harris. Sorry, I can't read my own handwriting.
Is this Harry? Yeah.
Minus 167 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's exactly where he's going, which means under 25.5 at even money. I cannot see another way that Pittsburgh does not take the best running back on the board. It's the perfect hole for them to fill. That bet, both of those bets are already in for me. Not a full price.
I have bad news for you. I like that bet, so I don't know how you feel about that.
Fuck. All right. Do they give cash out options on draft? No. Okay. Shit. And first defensive player off the board, Mr. Patrick Surtain at minus 110. Him to the Cowboys seems like a no-brainer. That's my other bet that's already in. I don't know if that's going to hit or not, but every single mock draft that I've looked at to prep for this, they all have him going to the Cowboys as a first defensive player. I can't see anybody. No one's trading up to they could trade up, right? But I don't see anybody trading up to take another defensive player besides him. So either you guys have a first player off the board or first position off the board.
No, I said I had the first non-quarterback with Pitts at minus 150. I mean, there's a lot of action. As I said, last year I believe there was that many trades in the first round. This year I think there's going to be a lot of wheeling and dealing.
There was already a lot of wheeling and dealing, right? It's crazy. This draft is.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know the exact number, but I think like the first trade didn't happen until like the 20s or something like that. If I'm not mistaken.
So this draft, if you look at it, right, it's so top heavy. Like the first 4 rounds have so much value, and then after the 4th round, for whatever reason, right? Maybe COVID, maybe having a little shorted college season.
A lot of players out and stuff like that.
Yeah, they want to go back to get another year in. Like I think there's going to be a lot of movement up top. I don't know if that's the necessary reason, but it makes so much sense that could be the reason. I've got 3 more prop bets.
Okay.
2 of them I think could happen, right? Justin Fields over 7.5. I could see him going, so trading up at 9 or somewhere around there if you believe in the Patriots hype of trading up. Same thing with the Patriots. Patriots QB first off the board. That's the Patriots' first pick, plus 150. That is not Bill Belichick. That has to come from above. There's 0 chance he trades up for anyone, ever. That has to be pressure from above. He's going to be like, I got Cam Newton again. I'll deal. He doesn't care.
Where do you think, gun to your head, where do you think Fields is going to go? Because I personally think he's going to go to the Lions, who I think are 7.
The Lions are 7.
Yeah, I think he's going to go at 7. That'd be my own personal pick. I just, they need a quarterback. They're going to take a quarterback. I think it's going to be him. He's going to be the next best available. But you think he's going to go even later, and you could see him going to the Patriots, you're saying?
I think eventually the Patriots trade up and get him. I've
been hearing rumors. I've been hearing rumors that the Patriots have traded with the Panthers at 8, and they're probably going to take Fields at 8 because they're high on him.
Well, listen, if they trade up, they're definitely taking him.
But as I said, 8 is less than 7. So or 8 is more than 7. So as you said, over
7.5.
That's a good bet right there. That's a good bet.
Just it's going to be wild. I like our predictions are to get thrown out the window. The first trade that's made in the top 10 is going to throw every other prediction out the window.
If a trade happens, yeah, for sure. But that's why it's gambling. That's
the beauty of it.
You never know what's going to happen. One bet I have minus 150. So it's not, you're not winning a ton of money on it. In fact, you have to invest 150 just to win 100. It looks like defensive end from Miami, Gregory, and forgive me on the last name, Rousseau, was asked to come to, or at least announced that he's coming to the draft in person, which usually historically will tell you that the NFL believes that he will go in the first round. Not always the case. Not always the case. But if you're playing
players that sit in that green room for a minute, they get sweaty, they have to change their suit. They got to bring like 3 suits for this thing.
It's true. It's true. It's not. It's certainly not. Something that happens all the time. But
I mean, you feel bad for them when they just sitting there like this.
Any increased odds you can get in your favor, I think is a smart bet. And this is one that at minus 150, I think is at least a smart bet. He will go in the first round. I don't know who exactly he's going to go to, but I definitely think he's going to go in the first round.
All right. The last prop bet that I have, and here it is. You flip a coin. They call it the Mr. Irrelevant bet. The last pick in the first round. No, the last pick in the first round, sir. Last pick in the first round, not the very last pick of the draft.
Last pick of the draft, no?
I know. That's what I said. They called it Mr. Irrelevant. Last pick in the first round.
Oh, okay.
Offensive or defensive player?
Oh.
I took offense.
I'm good defense.
Of course. Yes. So I'm in. I win.
I'm going long snapper, punter, kicker.
Well, yeah, I think that's like plus 10,000.
I would go offense
in the first round. Come on, if this was in the 7th round, I'm like, you got a chance. But first round,
sir, you know there was a kicker taken in the first round. I'm just saying it's possible. Not in this draft. Not anytime soon.
Not advised. I couldn't, as you say, could not be me, Mo. Could not.
No, definitely not. I mean, it could be the Jets. Let's be serious. If the Jets are drafting 32,
New York Jets elect kicker.
One other bet that I wanted to mention. I only have one more prop bet, and then we'll get into our own team-specific props. And this is the perfect segue into our own specific team props, because one bet that's staring me in the face as something that I think I would take. Do I necessarily think it's going to happen? I don't know, but the odds are too high for me to not take it. And that's Justin Fields to be a top 3 pick. Now, do I think he's going to go to the Lions? I do. But here's the deal. We don't know what Shanahan is going to do. We know most of the talent evaluators kind of like Fields more. And at plus 275, it just feels you're almost getting 3-1 odds on it. And like, to me, 3-1 odds on news that and a team that's very can go in any direction, I think is just a smart bet. Do I think, any bet that's plus is obviously going to be in some terms an underdog bet. But I do like Justin Fields to be the number 3 pick at plus 275. Am I putting my mortgage on it? No. But, will I have some sort of cash on that bet? I certainly will.
All right. So before
wait, you said 3 pick at was 275 for Fields? When did you take that number?
275 for Justin Fields to be the number 3 pick.
Sorry.
When did you check that number?
Say again?
When did you check that number?
Why did it change?
Yes.
What is it now?
Well, all right. Actually, I should say, because Safran has a 3rd pick, and right now it is Justin Fields at plus 550.
Yeah, I would take Justin Fields at plus 550.
Listen, to be perfectly honest, after hearing Kyle Shanahan in his latest fucking whatever rant that was in his presser the other day, I have no idea what the Niners are going to do. He doesn't think anyone's going to be alive by Sunday, sir. That's your boy.
It's possible. Listen, bruh, ain't nothing guaranteed in life. You know what I'm saying? Death and taxes. That's it. No. So we might not make it tomorrow.
He's predicting one of the two. And knock on wood, we all going to be here. Listen, and the draft is going to happen
Thursday. You know what I'm saying? But
the draft is going to happen.
You know what I'm saying? It's not guaranteed. He ain't lying. Ain't nothing guaranteed.
Before we move on to our teams, can we give a shout out to Moravik. He really wanted to be here today. Shout out to old boy. God damn it. Yeah, let's do a shot for him. You know what? He doesn't get paid to be here. He's here
for the boy.
He's here. He's here as our buddy.
He's in the chat.
No, not yet. He's here as our boy, right? We gotta salute to Mr. Moravik. His number one prop bet that he sent us was over 5.5 quarterbacks being taken in the first round at plus 400. So
good bet. Hey, man.
You never know what's gonna happen, old boy.
Here's to you. What?
More seltzer.
Yes, baby, you spelled Moravik right. Proud of you.
Nice job.
All right, let's move on to our teams, Nick. How are the Eagles? Should we go top to bottom? You want me to go first since the Jets have the
Are we talking? What are we talking? Worst picks?
Oh, I don't know. I've got a laundry list of things.
Well,
to talk about
so honestly, I told you who I think the Eagles are taking with the first overall pick. So I kind of have already done mine.
Or predictions.
No,
why don't we go who we think our specific teams are going to take? And like I said, for me personally, I'm going wide receiver. I'm going the former Heisman winner. That's my pick. But, sir, who are the 49ers taking with the third overall?
So, listen, San Fran, they traded up from 12 to 3, giving up this year's and 2 years, like next year's and the following. I have a hard time believing they gave all that away for Mac Jones. I have a hard time believing that. I saw a quarterback comparison. They listen. Trevor Lawrence, amazing talent, right? Zach Wilson could be the second pick, amazing, great talent. Could be. Who knows? I mean, it could be the second pick. Spoiler, who knows? It's possible. We'll see what my man has to say. They compared my man Mac Jones to Andy Dalton. You really going to give away 3 years of draft capital for Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton's a perennial playoff quarterback.
All right, so they compared Lawrence to Mahomes. They compared your boy Wilson to who they compared to? I think it was like Deshaun Watson. You give up that capital for those kind of people. You do not give up 3 years of draft capital for Andy Dalton.
Sir, they gave up 3 years of capital for whoever they thought the best quarterback was. Just because you don't think it is, does not matter.
If it's Mac Jones, I trust my man Shanahan with what he's doing. But I don't think it's the case. So as I hear him talk, they said, Jimmy G, that's our guy this season. The quarterback with the highest upside, who's not ready this year, Trey Lance. I think that's who San Fran takes, Trey Lance. He's going to sit out this year, let Jimmy G play. Hopefully Jimmy G makes it through more than half the season. I hope God bless him. Hope he makes it. You know what I'm saying? But then after the season, Jimmy, you my mans, but see you later. Trey takes over. And Trey Lance at plus 300. Sit out a year, relax, or not relax, but get your mind right, get pro ready, and at plus 300. I mean, I would like Justin Fields as well, because even I told y'all last year there was 2 quarterbacks. It was Lawrence and Fields were like neck and neck. Who's going to be the first quarterback, or they would be the top 2. And then come the offseason or pre-draft, Justin Fields has fallen. He like I saw one mock. He's going to go 32. Like in the first round, someone's going to trade into the first round to get him at 32. What? Come on.
You should have deleted that website. That's not happening.
I saw it on Twitter. I was like 32. Come on, nah.
That could be our fucking mock draft at this point. That is brutal.
If I saw a rumor it was between Mac and Trey, they pretty much ruled out Fields, which I don't really know why, but whatever. I mean, it could be another smoke screen because draft season's full of smoke screens. But I'm going to say Trey Lance plus 300. I know. Well, I mean, if it's Mac Jones, I may not be very happy, but
you're not going to be happy, sir.
Yeah, probably. You traded all that for Mac Jones, who got compared to Andy Dalton? Nah, fam.
Yeah, the comparison is not the best, right? But
they say Trey's like, he's a great football mind. Like he can do the board. He's like he called his own protections. Like he's a football mind. I'm saying so I could see him like they draft him, sit him,
Get him acclimated.
What?
Get him acclimated to the system.
Just like with Mahomes, they sat Mahomes for a year, and then after the year they said, Mr. Smith, see you later, and then the rest is history. So. I'm not saying Trey Lance is Patrick Mahomes, but hey, who knows?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes changed everyone's mindset. Found out just how valuable a quarterback is.
Yeah.
Get somebody who knows the game and who can adjust and do all the intangibles. And if you have a good mind and physical ability to boot, go get them. It doesn't matter what it costs. Listen. As a Jets fan, I hope that you hit your pick because God, I can't trust my team to hit my pick.
No,
so
as I've seen a lot of my teams mock drafts throughout the years, and every time they say, "Oh, San Francisco's going to take this person," and they draft somebody way off the board. Spoiler alert: I have a couple of names through in our worst picks because, it's
that bad.
There's been a couple of names that they're like, "Oh, they take him," and hasn't been good. So. We'll see. We'll see Thursday night what happens. But
we're into the fourth quarter of the show in football terms. But sometimes when you're doing a live show, you get some live breaking news. And thanks to Loebman, and now looks like being tweeted officially by Mayweather Promotions. It looks like on June 6th, we will get Floyd Money Mayweather coming out of retirement to fight one Logan Paul.
What the fuck?
Fellas, I got a question for y'all. So if Floyd gets knocked into next week by his brother, does it ruin his does it tarnish his legacy?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it does.
No.
The reason why it does is because I don't want to say anything is an absolute impossibility, but it is absolutely impossible for Floyd Mayweather to lose a fight to Logan Paul. It's absolutely 100% impossible.
Here's where I'm going to disagree, and forgive me, Nick. Boxing has been a dying sport. As soon as he loses to Logan Paul for whatever amount of money that this thing is going to draw, this might be the biggest drawing boxing pay-per-view you've ever fucking seen. It is such a spectacle. It's going to be bigger than the McGregor versus.
I don't think so, man.
No, hold up. Now,
yes, it is.
Now, is this an official fight or is this a exhibition? Because
it's a boxing fight, but it's not an official boxing fight. I would think.
Yeah, so it's like the Tyson Roy Jones fight. I believe was a exhibition. So I don't.
So it's not going against official records,
right? So if Logan Paul knocks his brother to next week, he's still 50-0, correct? I mean,
by the way, it will never, ever happen. But yes, he would still be 50-0. But it will never happen.
Okay. Well, in that respect, if it's not an official fight, I take back everything I said. I figured.
Well, it's going to be a fight. They're going to fight, but it's not going to be like an.
Yeah, but nobody. Yeah, but that's all right. Then the Ben Askren fight was an official fight. So yeah, he knocked out a UFC guy.
Yeah, that was just still sleeping right now.
But that just made more money for both of them. They're good.
But it's not gonna make the money. You just said that it's gonna make the money that McGregor and Mayweather made. Mayweather and McGregor made over $250 million.
Listen. If they said it was a legit fight, was the McGregor Mayweather fight a legit fight or no?
Well, it was legit in the sense that if McGregor knocked out Floyd Mayweather would have a loss on his record, but it wasn't legit. That's
all I care about.
That anybody who's a fan of boxing with any kind of sense of knowledge thought that McGregor was going to beat Floyd Mayweather. I mean, the expression is puncher's chance, but he wasn't going to beat Floyd Mayweather. You're never going to go into the sport of the guy who's the best in the world and beat them. You're never going to do it. That's why they're the best in the world. He is the greatest fighter in the world in boxing. Now they go to UFC, McGregor kills him. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. It's the same thing with
Mayweather know better than to go in the UFC. Come on,
his
man.
idiot brother wants to box Daniel Cormier, and DC said point blank, I don't need the money. I don't need to chase you. I'm the former heavyweight champ of the world. If you truly want to fight me, I'm paraphrasing, but if you truly want to fight me in the UFC, and I will torture you, was his exact line. I will torture you in the UFC. And does anybody think that Cormier would ever lose a UFC fight to Jake Paul, Logan Paul? He could fight.
Yeah, Chris Paul. God damn.
Paul
Walker. We can fight anyone.
Paul and Mary, Paul Bunyan,
break them ankles,
Paul O'Neill. Get all the Pauls. And DC's still winning. So I don't know. I think it's kind of a joke. Mayweather's going to destroy him. Mayweather will end the fight whenever Mayweather wants to end the fight. But, the rest is history. I guess we'll find out what happens.
Just make a meme on all the Pauls after this.
It's going to be bad. So sorry, digress. A little bit of breaking news. But Tim, we really haven't gotten into who your team is going to select with the first overall pick. So Tim, you are officially on the clock. Who will the New York Football Jets take with the first overall pick?
Second, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson.
They have other picks. I meant the other picks. We all know they're taking Zach Wilson.
We're taking Zach Wilson.
You have more than one first-round pick.
Zach Wilson. We're taking him in all three picks. It doesn't matter.
They're like Zach Wilson. It's like, again, we taking Zach Wilson again, Mo.
It doesn't matter after that.
All right, wait, sir. I got a question for you. How confident are you in that Zach Wilson pick?
About as confident as I was in Mark Sanchez, Geno Smith, the quarterback that we just traded, six straight first-round picks from 13 to 18 that we traded first-round picks. I'm super confident in who we're taking. Sir, I don't have a fucking idea, right? It doesn't make any sense to me. We haven't had a good draft, and not to paraphrase what I got fucking notes down the fucking line. We haven't had a good draft since 2006. That my personal feelings, right? Right. Yes, sure. Did we get
that's not good, though.
Sir, but did we get a shit ton for Jamal Adams from the Seahawks? Absolutely. So do I consider that a good draft? Yeah, because of what we traded away to get back. He was our best player that we took by far in 10 years. If you're talking 10-year span, the best player. But it stinks when he's the only All-Pro that we took since 2015. That's all. 2015 not so long ago. Yes, it is. It's in football years. It's a fucking century ago.
Yeah,
That's a long time to not have another All-Pro. God, listen. There's. Oh, God, the Jets. The Jets are.
With Zach Wilson, hold on. Before you say with Zach Wilson, there were rumors that when San Fran traded up to 3, it was for Zach Wilson, and then apparently the Jets fell in love with him.
Yeah, well, they had no choice but to fall in love with him. As soon as they traded Sam Darnold, the writing was on the wall. That's who they were taking.
It was going to be for a QB, but apparently they fell in love with Zach Wilson.
So there were rumors that they could have got a first-round pick for Sam Darnold.
Yes, I know. From who?
Who? Yeah.
And y'all said, "No, man, we want to wait and see about this kid."
Well, see, the thing is that option was before his pro day.
Oh, no, absolutely.
So as soon as they saw him throw off his back foot for 60 yards on a dime, they're like, "That's it. We're sold."
Nothing. The pro days, everybody and their mama has a great pro day. It's like I'm saying, like you're throwing to receivers that ain't covered by nobody.
Yep, you're right. Off the back foot, fading away on a dime. Yeah, it looks really great on paper.
Wow, technically. Oh wow, he just threw for 80 yards and hit my man in stride. Put a blitzer in his face and have a cornerback guard not do. Let's see what happens.
Sir, you don't got to talk to me about the quarterbacks who we thought had it, who didn't have it. I get it. I totally get it. I see the disconnect, and I know personally as a Jets fan, am I confident in our draft selection of quarterbacks? No, I'm not very confident in our draft selection on defensive tackles in the past X amount of years. No, I'm not. They've all been traded. Every single one of our skill position players that we've taken outside the last 2 years, hopefully this offensive tackle looks pretty good. That's where our strength of drafts have come from. Offensive tackles. Our defensive tackles have been fucking terrible. It is what it is. So bad luck is one thing, and welcome to the life of a Jets fan. And we're still here.
Please represent your colors, bro. See?
As we start to wind down, though, I did want to touch on some of the worst picks that we've ever seen live.
Yo, we need a whole other show for this one.
In person. I have two that I could think of off the top of my head. These are the two biggest ones. And the first one, that was a head scratcher. I was at the bar. It's 2011. The Eagles just lost to the Packers in the playoffs, where the Packers would end up going on to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. And the one thing that the Eagles needed, because think about it, at the time, they had a very good defense. Not great, but they had a good enough defense. They had the all-world resurrection of one Michael Vick. They had Deshaun Jackson. They had tons and tons of weapons, whether it be LaShawn McCoy, Jeremy Maclin, as I mentioned before, Deshaun Jackson. They still had Jason Avant. They had a bunch of guys. Brent Selleck. The team was on fire. What they needed was offensive line. So the Eagles, with the 23rd overall pick, took Danny Watkins, who I believe ended up being benched midway through the season, or at least midway through either that season or the next season, cut the summer after. Absolutely one of the worst picks that the Eagles have ever made with a first-round pick. And I have one more first-round pick that I saw live that I remember being made fun of at the time for, not counting last year, of course, when I was made fun of for them not taking Justin Jefferson. But, sir, we'll kick it to you first. Watching live, give us a pick that you watched and you were just like, oh, my God.
All right, so I actually have two that I remember. But, like, if the first one, I'm going to go with the 2017, the whole draft class, minus one major hit. So, with the third pick, it started out great. They had the second pick in the draft. The Bears were like, "Hey, we'll give you." They had the Bears on the third. Like, we'll trade with you. We'll trade up. We'll give you a whole bunch of draft capital. And the Bears took Mr. Trubisky, Money Mitch. It was like, okay, the San Fran was not in the market for a quarterback, so thank you for all that capital. With the third pick, San Fran took Solomon Thomas. I was not a fan of that pick. But for some reason, San Fran loves their Pac-12 players. But whichever. Granted, not the greatest player. I believe I thought he was soft to begin with, but whatever. Then, all of a sudden, the round's going on. San Fran takes their second-round pick and moves back up to get Reuben Foster, linebacker, Alabama. I love the pick. I was like, oh, wow. It was like, yo, we got Reuben Foster. That's brother's going to be nice. He was not nice. Like, between injuries and I don't know, like, I believe he got straight to Washington, and he might not still be good. He might be out of the league already. So, obviously, they had no second-round pick. Third round, they took Ahkello Witherspoon. Great player, not on the team anymore. And then also they took C.J. Beathard. My man C.J., I believe they got rid of him too. Fourth round, they took Joe Williams, running back, Utah. Great running back, retired early on us. Like, left. Said, see you later. I'm calling it. Deuces. But in the fifth round, they got the best tight end in football, the people's tight end, George Kittle. So one win, but like 18 L's. So, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, like 2017 was not when you have a whole draft class in 2017, which is like what, 4 years ago, and only one player is on your roster. That's not good, fam. I have another major one, but are we rotating or should I give?
Yeah, let's fucking rotate. No, let's fucking rotate.
Okay,
you had one major one.
Major one,
Fuck you, sir. Fuck you. The Jets haven't had a major one in the last fucking 10 years. Their last major one, they traded away.
Major one was a 5th-round pick, bro.
Sir, that's a dub. That is I would take a 5th-round perennial fucking best player at their position. Any one of my last 10 years of
best
drafts.
tight end in football, Mo.
Whatever. Perennial, we'll say.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead. Well, I know we'll be here for a while.
Travis Kelce's better, but it's okay. We forgive you, sir. You'll wait. Sir, you know what a more disgusting stat is?
What's that?
How many Hall of Famers have the Jets drafted in their history? If I gave you the over-under of 3.5, where would you go?
Take the under, Mo.
Yeah. What if I gave you the over-under of 2.5, sir?
Of Hall of Famers? I'm gonna take the under. They probably have drafted a whole. They probably have not drafted a Hall of Famer.
Two, sir. Two.
Oh, they drafted two? Okay.
Two Jets players. When's it? Oh, I got it. What year? If I gave you the year, 1980 over under.
Under 70s.
1972. What was the over under? They're bad. The Jets are fucking bad at drafting people. Listen, they might have by the end of who knows how it plays out in the National Football League. They might end up with 4 or 5 with their draft overall, but it's fucking bad. It is so bad. One of their 2 Hall of Famers played more than half their career on different teams. The guy that they drafted. So it's Joe Willie by himself. They just build a statue of him saying he wants to kiss somebody, and that's it. Like that's what he's most known for to all of us young people.
Guarantee that's what he's known for.
What a great fucking time that was. And to be a Jets fan. It's been bad. Listen, we destroyed our one only number 1 pick, Mr. Keyshawn Johnson. Did not do bad with him. He was good. I can't say Hall of Fame. Who knows? It is what it is. Everything is bad. Our worst first-round pick of all time, maybe not all time. There's so many bad picks, but in the last 10 years, D. Milner, 2013.
Yeah.
He actually got cut, right? The other guys got traded. Like, trade. No, you're bad. We're just going to cut you. It's not good.
How long did he last on your books? Because I still remember. How long did he last?
Yeah, not very long. The exact years.
I'm sure my worst pick is worse than that.
Bet.
I'll tell you my worst pick, and then we'll let you two hash it out because I have one more. He's not the worst pick, but one more that I watched live that I thought was just a terrible pick, and also plays off the fact that the Eagles just miss on wide receiver after wide receiver. This would have been 2014. 14, I think. So the Eagles had a late pick, playing well the year before, and they ended up taking Marcus Smith. And this is during the Chip Kelly era of Philadelphia Eagles football. And, of course, Marcus Smith went on to be a terrible defensive player. I actually think he had most of his success with the Seattle Seahawks after the Eagles just dumped him. But that was the first-round pick. A certain wide receiver went in the second round of that same draft who the Eagles could have taken and chose not to. Do you guys happen to know who that wide receiver is that the Eagles passed on in the 2014 NFL draft?
To take who?
Well, we took Marcus Smith, but we passed on a specific wide receiver. He still plays football to this day.
I would hope so. 2014.
No, I mean, you say all your Eagles failures every single time we're on the fucking podcast.
NFC North.
That's not who. No, Julio's too early. Who is it?
That would be NFC South, but this is NFC North.
Oh, North.
North. What if I told you that he wore number 17?
Devontae Adams. I was thinking that too. Yeah. Devontae Adams.
Yep, Devontae Adams.
What pick was Devontae Adams?
Well, he went in the second round. I'm not sure the exact pick.
So the exact same DK Metcalf story. All 32 teams could have had him. I see. I can't count that. I can't count that against the Eagles.
They're tough to select. Like you might think you got a banger, but you end up.
It's not so much. It's not so much. I mean, if the Eagles took a really good player in the first round of the pick, I wouldn't care that Devontae Adams went in the second round. But it's just the simple fact that the Eagles took a guy that was absolutely dreadful. And
how were his college stats? The guy that was he good in college?
I remember. I'll tell you this. I'm not a huge college fan in terms of like following like all specific players. I kind of do my research as we get closer to the draft, but I would tell you that after he was taken, I don't think anybody justified it. I think everybody pretty much shit on it. I think it was a pretty bad pick overall, but is what it is. The Eagles usually draft pretty well. They've only kind of
not receivers.
They've stumbled as of late, for sure. What are some of your last picks as we close out the show for today?
All right, so I'm gonna give my worst pick, and it ties in with a lot. So the receivers. All right, in 2012, San Fran had the 30th pick in the draft. They took A.J. Jenkins with the 30th pick, wide receiver, Illinois. 6'1", 195. Decent college stats. He ran a 4.37 40, 38.5 vert. You know what I'm saying? Not bad. In his rookie season, although he was healthy all 16 games, he was only active for 3 of them. He played 37 offensive snaps. He was targeted once, which he proceeded to drop. Right? Then he was traded in the offseason for another receiver who is out of football right now, Mr. Baldwin. He was traded to Kansas City. 2 years later, he's hanging out with us. He's sitting on the couch watching TV. For his career catches, 223 yards. That's it. You know what I'm saying? First round receiver. In that draft class wasn't the best. They could have Alshon Jeffrey. They could have had Mohamed Sanu.
Who?
T.Y. Hilton was in that draft class.
Okay, that's the best one.
You know what I'm saying? But A.J. Jenkins, like, bro, like they were trying to find somebody next to Crabtree. You know what I'm saying? They were like, oh, we got Mr. Jenkins. He gonna be nice. Number 17, let's ride. Fam. Like, bruh. Like, y'all talk about bad receiver? Come on now. Like, you got one target all rookie season and you drop it? Like, we were all tied for receiving yards with him. That's bad.
Oh, sir.
Go ahead. Beat that, old boy.
Tim, hit us with your worst pick.
No, I already said my worst pick. I'm thinking that we had 3, 6, 9, 12. We had 13 picks in 2014, if my math is correct. So 12 or 13 picks, and there's only 2 of those picks still in the NFL. It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but that Jenkins won't hurt because I was like, because listen, Trent Baalke, in Baalke we trust. Like, listen, he's making the picks for Jack. He's on Jacksonville now, but that brother loved taking players that were either coming off an ACL injury because like, oh, that player's dropping because of an ACL, and they didn't come back to form. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna take you, and you're gonna be.
Right, they trust in the knee surgeries.
Trust the process. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know,
but that Jenkins pick, that one hurt.
All right, Nick, real quick, we'll end the show on your terms. How confident are you in the Eagles to make the right choice at number? What are you guys? 12?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident they'll make the right pick because there just aren't. It's going to be difficult to make a wrong pick with the pick that they have based on the guys that are already going to be taken.
Right. Something's going to fall.
Sometimes when you have a later pick, it makes it more difficult because somebody could take the guy right in front of who you want. But with the Eagles having an earlier pick, and Eagles are picking what? 12, 4 of the picks.
are going to be quarterbacks.
5. Yeah, so you're talking almost half the picks are going to be quarterbacks. You got a couple defensive guys that are coming out, a couple wide receivers.
You know the tight end's going.
Yeah, Pitts is going.
Ain't no way.
No, an offensive lineman is going. So, I just think for them, they got to go wide receiver. They're going to take the guy that I'm.
Yeah, imagine if they had the 6th pick.
Yeah, they probably would take quarterback and fuck everything up, but that's what I think. So I'm confident in my team making the first pick. So I'll throw it back to you guys, and then we'll wrap up. You got to give your team a draft grade this year. What do you think their draft grade will be? Their ESPN draft grade. I'm going to go B.
I'm going to go A by default. We're going to take who our franchise quarterback is going to be, and based on that, it's going to be an A.
Okay.
Win or lose, and that's it.
Sure.
If they take Lance or Fields, A. If they take Mac Jones, like the rumors say, C.
Okay. Well, guys, good luck on the draft. Good luck with your specific teams. If you disagree, if you agree, it's all good. Tweet us at SBFS Show. Check out our show on TruExactRadio.com. Check out our archived shows on YouTube under the TruExact channel. Buy our merch. Tune in next week when we talk about something. And, we'll see where the sports go. I know Canelo Alvarez is fighting in a couple of weeks, so maybe we'll do a little boxing, but we'll see. Anyways, Nick, Tim, sir, thanks for tuning in and have a good night.